Welcome, everybody, to the SEO Mad Scientist Podcast. I am your host today, Mike, joined by Alex, my co-host, good friend, SEO partner, all those awesome things. How you doing today, Alex?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Anytime. It's always fun. It's always fun when you're on. No Sophie today. We'll hopefully see Sophie again soon. What was that?
Sad face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sad crying face with a tear. So we will carry on the torch until more people return. So today we are going to be talking about a recent test, a mini networks test. Alex, I believe you had a short moment to review this test before you got on, correct?
Good.
Very awesome. For anyone who doesn't know, mini networks is a service that we offer. At Web20 Ranker, we've offered it for quite a while. It initially is a concept that came up long ago, and we tested it, saw results, implemented it as a service, but as usual, things change over time, and we want to get a better idea of how things are currently working in the search. So we are testing the mini network service, which we essentially assume that these mini networks, when we build them and utilize them for the geo-targeted and local relevant, niche relevant, industry-specific results, essentially these are branded networks like Web 2.0s that we implement our map embed, keywords, all those types of things across, and we'll show some examples in a minute. But by building this relevance, local geo-relevance, and branding the company alongside these things, we essentially look to see rankings in local and organic search. So what is a mini network? This is pretty much, I would say, Alex, what mini networks, it's not a new strategy, really, right? It's a Web 2.0 network. Like, I remember back in the day building these with, like, FCS network, but we just didn't call them these things, right?
It used to be Web 2 PPMs.
Web 2P. Oh, yeah, that's right. All the expired tumblers and things like that, too. Which, to be clear, what we're building here is not expired profiles. These are all brand new profiles. So you don't need to go and pay someone to scrape Tumblr profiles or anything like that. In fact, these are pretty common kind of setups for any business that is on these platforms, because essentially they consist of Web 2.0s like Google Sites, WordPress, Blogger, and we're posting relevant content about either the business or the location or the niche, and putting map embeds, backlinks, all the normal stuff you would do kind of with optimization for an SEO listing. And here's kind of an example.
Everything that expired is with the latest update. Expired's definitely been hit as part of the Google spam update. And so we're seeing a lot of people that have built these like poor man PBNs on expired, on the back of expired stuff, getting hit really hard. So that's just another reason why, ours aren't getting hit from that perspective, and it's just a better build.
And you can always build backlinks to these as well. In this test, we didn't do any tiered links. You could build additional mini networks around these mini networks. You could build PBNs or other things depending on, how risky you want to get with that type of situation. But yeah, it's
more opportunities, right? Because you can power
Exactly. And because we're making one that's branded, so we have like a group of Web 2.0s, the Google site, the WordPress, the Blogger, and they're linking to our company as our company, but then we're making these ones like Local Knoxville Business Network, which is just essentially we're branding it as this local business network that talks about companies and different things locally in Knoxville. And that's what essentially makes it, a geo network. And the whole purpose of using these is for, like I said, all the standard SEO things where you embed maps, backlinks, optimized content. There's, I would say, sorry, what was that, Alex?
It's building geo.
Exactly. And in this test, we did all of these things specifically, but I want to point out that there's a lot of optimization opportunity here that we did not leverage, as in, like, linking to other citations, the Yelp page, linking to social profiles. This was a very basic test just in the kind of the content, the map embed, the NAP, and the website reference, right? To kind of see that base impact on these listings.
Not exactly a
So
single variable, but single product test, right?
exactly, yes. And sometimes we want to go single variable because we want to test a very specific thing. We've been using geo networks. We've been using these networks for a long time, and we've done single variable tests and tested these things in the past. Um, so at this point that we're using them, the very first thing we want to know out the gate is, is it effective really? So that's kind of what we're taking a look at this point. And we also assume that there's kind of maybe different levels of effectiveness for, right, the geo relevant, the niche relevant, or even branded. So again, it's not single variable, but it's all the same concept. So we just built them all to see, what that result was. And I believe this was middle of last month, was it? I actually realized I didn't actually pull the exact dates. But I know I did this review a few weeks after, which we'll see the dates on the snapshots in a minute.
So we're
The
still in the month total.
Exactly, yeah, and
Hmm.
we're definitely seeing movement. Um, which there's some that we see, like, it's a slight increase in average ranking, which, if anyone knows the average grid ranking, which is like how many nodes you have to, add it all up and then the average across. So our average, we didn't see major movement, but we did also have movement in keywords that were not ranking at all and now are showing, rankings. And so very, very positive results. I would say that it's pretty conclusive that we saw a result from it. And we specifically were testing the geo networks, the brand networks, all of that, because we wanted to see just overall, right? So here's residential water treatment, Knoxville. That one wasn't ranking literally anywhere. And now we're showing not majorly well, but definitely good. Reverse
That
osmosis
gives you
systems.
from where it was. Yeah.
I mean, from nothing to in the top 10 of maps, Google's got you in the race at that point, right? And then here's reverse osmosis. Here, I'm gonna grab this here for us so we can see just a little more detail. Me and Alex talked about this before the call, getting some more snapshots in the slides and whatnot.
It's more
Um,
visual, so that way you can follow along a little bit closer and understand exactly what's changing and how it's changing when we're doing these tests.
yeah, because there's a lot of keywords here, and there's a lot of things that we take into consideration when we build these tests as well. For example, mentioning reverse osmosis systems specifically either in the Web 2.0 or like not on the website or an inner page of the website. So knowing where we reference these things within a test and how they correlate to specific keywords, there's a lot to unpack there, which is why it's good to have all the data, and be able to see it
All
easily in
those
one
pieces
place.
are going to be on the testing library and then updated.
Exactly. That will be there too, which should definitely help. So yeah, you can see here when we first started, we were number 4. We kind of bounced around as we built the mini networks, and I think this keyword, yes, in number 2 spot on a bunch of places. The residential water treatment, Knoxville, I don't even believe that was, yeah, that was the one that wasn't even ranking. Let's see if there was any others here. Water conditioner supply, drinking water solutions. I'm wondering if we had tested solutions. I think I saw solutions somewhere. So again, not in the top ranking at all. Definitely saw some positive movement here. And these are all test keywords. I just want to point that out. It doesn't mean that we're necessarily saying that drinking water solutions Knoxville is like the best keyword in the world. That we would,
Focused on these keywords focused on whether or not Google's responding to the work being done and placing the rankings accordingly. Right?
Exactly, because we talked about hard water and drinking water and water softener and those things in the um in the mini networks. So, and essentially, after seeing the results, it's pretty much confirmed what I feel that we expected to see, that based on building these platforms, just like anything, right? When we've run press releases and other things where we have map embeds, references to the business, the name, address, and phone number, relevant content talking about products, services. There's a clear correlation between those brand references, the niche references, the services, and all that stuff alongside what we see with the rankings, right? With the impact in local and organic rankings. I would think, honestly, I have a theory that the brand network is not as impactful. That, for example, like building a bunch of brand profiles and talking about relevant stuff about your company is definitely authoritative, but I think it would be more beneficial when Google sees other brands talking and referencing your brand in general. So we could go through these and test some individual, networks. But with that said, too, I don't really see a point where you would ever really build multiple brand networks. It's kind of a one and done thing. Like you're not going to build 20 WordPress sites all just about your brand. So, that's kind of where we get to a point where, like, is it worth testing on that granular level? Is it the brand network? Is it the niche network? Or should we just build them all and we build one set of brand networks and then we continue to build more and more niche networks? And that's something we'll probably do with this test after we see it run for a little longer and see it plateau or stay. But we can then go back and start to add more content to these networks because they're, it's a platform. We can post more about other businesses, cross-link to other properties, all of that, kind of stuff right there.
Mike, can you speak a little bit to the benefit of using these mini networks or these Web2 networks as opposed to, say, like a PBN network?
So yeah, I mean, a PBN generally, first of all, refers to like an expired domain or domain that you have to register. So right out the gate, you're gonna have to pay a registration fee. And then there's also hosting, where you have to make sure that you're not leaving some kind of footprint with hosting. These Web 2.0 platforms, they're used by millions of people. There's probably billions of pages across them that it's you don't really have to worry about the footprints, or like you want Google to see the footprints. When Google sees two WordPress pages interacting with each other through backlinks or referencing them, that essentially is a footprint. When we talk about not leaving footprints with something like a PBN, though, it's where Google sees that there are 20 websites on the same exact hosting provider from the same IP, all linking to the same GBP or same website over and over and over again. So that's probably the major benefits there is the no fees, not worrying about hosting. You can still leverage them for all the same benefits as far as tiered linking, embeds, backlinks, all that kind of stuff. The only downside is
At a lower cost. I mean, the other benefit that
yes.
I really like about these specifically, and I've used these a lot in the past, is you can power these up with a lot less. You don't have to be as careful with your thinking to
Um,
these. So you could throw in like state or DSA or whatever at these, power these up, and You're not going to do that to a normal PBN.
Exactly. Yeah, the only downside would be is that you are at the mercy of a third party platform. So if WordPress takes it down, you're screwed unless you can get it back. But that's kind of the where you wouldn't spend $1,000 investing in building up just one WordPress property within your network. If you bought a $500, $1,000 expired domain that had massive authority, then maybe you would put that effort and time. But it's really just two completely separate worlds in my mind, unless you're just talking about like churn and burn PBNs for just really low tiered links, which is fine too.
But the
But these
benefit
are
to this is at that low cost, you can actually have a lot more juice pushed by doing more of these for the same price and the same time.
And you get to link directly to your site and your money properties. They're not just low quality links that all you can use for is tier 2. You can really control the content, create optimized content, use strategic linking strategies to push relevance, and you get to continue to build on them. So like say if you have a client and they're in a location, like you work with a bunch of clients around you and you build a geo network, you can use that geo network for everyone who's in that location and even reference not just your clients, but other, businesses and things, really build it out like it's a brand and build its authority. So it's not just like a one and done thing too. You can leverage these ongoing, just like a PBN and things like that. And you still control it as well. So worst case scenario, you could take down your links, you could cut off the anchor text if you're over optimized, whatever that looks like. So there's definitely a lot of benefits. And I
I
think
know
from a
there's people
local
that also build
standpoint,
these
like GeoGrid
and
local
then end
map
up doing
rankings,
guest posts on it.
there's much more benefit in this
So you
type
can
of
turn it
network
into
building.
an income asset as well, too, aside from just
Yeah,
clients. So, like, there's a lot of opportunity.
exactly. Let me and that's pretty much, I think, what we got for the test at this point. We'll probably do another follow up. This is something we've been doing for a long time, though, right? Like it's not a new concept, um, but I would like to build on it now with what we're seeing in other tests, right?
Yeah, just validating that it's still relevant, still moves the needle.
Well, and what can we do to make it more effective, right?
Right.
What if we reference our network in a press release or something else, or um, like I said, I do want to play a lot more, which is building up the network as well. We have our PBN map embed test, which is showing really good results that we'll be going over in probably next week's update. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to the embeds, having a network like this, then that you can control map embeds and backlinks, it's a massive, massive asset. So
Definitely.
I definitely think we will dig into it deeper and see what else we could find.
So if anybody
So
watching this wants to jump on these mini networks and start using them for their benefit, and jump on web20ranker.com, and you
that
can
is a
go
good
ahead.
point.
This is benefit as well.
If you go to web20ranker.com, and I believe it's under backlinks. I'm going to go check just to confirm. It's either under backlinks or branding. My computer's running really slow right now.
It is under.
Or is it under local? It's under local. Local SEO, that's the place for it, actually. So
Yep.
very first item in the menu, local SEO, drops down, mini networks, it's fifth down. You can grab mini networks. They come in two sizes, 10 and 20 properties. If you wanted to build the 10 properties to start and then come back and get the other 10 built later, you can. We, in our test, only tested the first 10 properties in each network. We didn't even build all 20. Probably should have thrown more at it because it was a test. And when I was going back and reviewing, I was thinking I should have threw more at it but we clearly saw a result just with the base networks,
so if you're
right?
you're going to see even more results in 20.
Exactly. So, like I said, as we do some analysis on this test, we'll probably build the other ones and then build out more on top of these because it's not just a one and done thing. Like I said too, right? You can keep adding more and more content. I think we even have content that we can add and add more links and optimize with your network if you want to. So go definitely check it out, web20ranker.com. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for the update, unless you got anything else, Alex.
I don't. You covered everything. So.
Alrighty, let's wrap it up. Thanks everybody for watching the SEO Mad Scientist podcast. This is the MiniNets test update review. And until next week, happy testing. Bye.